This episode is supported by AnalystKit.com. Thousands of tried-and-true calculations mixed with AI to find you the best stocks in a single click.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into the thinking of, well, the late, great Charlie Munger.
Absolutely. There's so much material out there.
Yeah, and our goal here is really to distill that down, find those key insights, make it actionable wisdom you can actually use without getting too bogged down in theory.
Right. Think of it as unlocking his core principles, what really made him tick as an investor and just as a thinker.
Exactly. We're not just lifting ideas. We want to get at the concepts behind his whole approach.
Which was pretty unique. He had this amazing ability to look at problems from, so many different angles.
And that's what's so fascinating. His bag of tricks, you could call it.
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't just finance stuff. It was like a much broader way of seeing the world and acting in it.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we even begin with unpacking this kind of remarkable mind?
Well, I think a really fundamental piece has to be his idea of building a latticework of mental models.
Okay, latticework of mental models. That sounds complex, but intriguing, like building a really comprehensive way of seeing things. What did he mean by that exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. So Munger believed that to really understand and analyze situations well, you need to draw on lots of different perspectives, fundamental ideas from different fields.
Okay.
Imagine having multiple lenses to look at a problem through. He talked about specific concepts, like the law of large numbers from stats.
Right. The more you do something, the closer you get to the average outcome.
Exactly. Or the idea of a breakpoint effect, where, a small change suddenly causes a huge shift, like adding just a tiny bit more weight and boom, the bridge collapses.
So it's not like you have to become an expert physicist or a master statistician.
Right.
It's more having a sort of working grasp of these core ideas so you can pull them out when you need them.
Precisely. It's having that foundation, that toolkit. It lets you approach things from multiple angles. And that helps you avoid, getting trapped in just one viewpoint, makes your decisions much more robust in the end.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at a business, you wouldn't just look at the economics. You'd also maybe think about the psychology of the people running it or the history of that industry, stuff like that.
That makes total sense. Yeah. Like having a well-stocked mental toolbox for whatever comes up. Okay, so another really interesting tool in his kit was inversion. What's the core idea there?
Inversion. Yeah, that's a really powerful one. Basically, instead of aiming straight for a goal, you flip it.
Flip it? How so?
You think about the opposite. What could make this problem worse? What would guarantee failure?
Okay.
By thinking about the negative outcome first, you often spot pitfalls, challenges you might have missed otherwise.
So thinking backward helps you move forward better.
Exactly. It's about avoiding the plot holes.
You mentioned a great story about his time as a weather forecaster in the Army Corps. How did inversion work there?
Yeah, that one's really telling. So instead of just asking, how do I make an accurate forecast? He asked himself, how could I actually kill these pilots?
Wow, okay. Stark.
It is. But he figured the biggest risks were icing on the wings and running out of fuel. Simple as that.
Right.
So by focusing intensely on avoiding those two specific disasters, he became incredibly careful about spotting those dangers in his forecasts.
That's a really powerful way to frame responsibility, focusing on preventing the worst outcome. He also compared it to algebra problems.
He did, yeah. He pointed out that lots of tricky problems, just like in algebra, get way easier if you just invert the question. If you can't see the solution straight away, try thinking about what would lead to the opposite result. Often that reverse thinking kind of lights up the path forward.
Interesting.
He even mentioned his ROTC days aiming mortars, one shot over, one shot short, then kapow.
Bracketing the target.
Exactly. Another little mental trick, really. Finding the right range by going to the extremes first.
I like that. Very practical. Okay, so beyond just flipping problems, Munger also really stressed understanding the other side. Why was considering opposing views so important to him?
Well, if you think about it, it ties right back into that latticework idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, I see that.
Understanding why someone disagrees with you is Well, it's crucial for building a truly well-rounded model of anything.
Okay.
By actively trying to grasp their argument, maybe even argue it better than they can, you force yourself to confront your own biases, your own assumptions.
Right. It's not just putting up with different views.
No, it's actively seeking them out to find the holes in your own thinking. It's like stress testing your conclusions. Makes your final decision much stronger.
Like putting your ideas into the ring to see if they can hold up. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Thinking about the future, Munger seemed pretty wary of predictions. What was his reasoning there?
Yeah, he had a very healthy skepticism, let's say. It really comes down to the basic uncertainty of the world. Munger just recognized that the future is fundamentally unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
And putting too much faith in forecasts, well, that's a dangerous trap. He'd seen it countless times, unexpected events just derailing the best laid plans.
Right.
So his caution really came from understanding the limits of what we can actually know about what's coming.
So instead of trying to perfectly predict the future, his focus was more on understanding the present situation, the fundamentals.
Yeah.
So you're better prepared for whatever happens.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Build adaptable strategies that can handle a range of possible futures, rather than betting everything on one specific prediction coming true.
Resilience over prophecy.
You got it. Preparedness.
Okay, and that flows really naturally into his emphasis on continuous learning. It sounds like staying mentally agile was key for him in that kind of uncertain world.
Oh, absolutely critical. Munger was just a voracious reader, a lifelong learner across tons of different subjects.
Right.
He knew the world changes constantly. And to make good decisions, you have to keep updating your knowledge, keep refining those mental models. He saw standing still intellectually as like a major weakness, a liability. You've got to keep adding new connections to that lattice work.
It's like your mental framework needs constant feeding to stay sharp. Now, he also talked about simple rules in complex systems. That almost sounds backward. How can simple rules work in really complicated situations?
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive, but it's fascinating. What he saw is that in many complex systems, think about markets or ecosystems, a few simple fundamental rules can actually drive huge results.
Can you give an example?
Well, think about compounding in finance. The rule itself is dead simple. Reinvest your earnings.
Right.
But apply that simple rule consistently over a long time. It leads to enormous wealth creation. Munger believed in finding those core principles, the essential drivers, and just applying them effectively, consistently, not getting lost in, unnecessary complexity.
So identify the leverage points, the simple things that have a really big impact.
Exactly.
And speaking of big impacts, he was always looking for Lollapalooza results. That's a pretty vivid term. What did he mean by that?
Yeah. Lollapalooza. For Munger, that described those rare times when multiple positive factors all converge and work together synergistically. So the combined effect is way, way bigger than just adding up the individual parts. He was hunting for those situations where maybe a small change or just a lucky combination of events could trigger this cascade of good outcomes.
Like hitting all the green lights driving down a long street.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Everything just aligns perfectly for rapid progress.
Finding that first domino that knocks over a whole chain reaction of success.
Okay, let's shift to some of his more ethical and practical principles. Don't sell what you wouldn't buy. Seems pretty straightforward integrity-wise.
It is straightforward, but it says so much about his core values, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He really believed in operating with, absolute integrity, offering real value.
Right. And it wasn't just about physical products. It applied to advice, services, any interaction, really. Offer only what you'd be happy to receive yourself.
He had that great quote, didn't he? The safest way to try to get what you want
is to try to deserve what you want.
No.
Yeah, that's basically the golden rule applied to business and life.
Powerful, linking your actions directly to your values. He also advised people to work for those you admire. What was the thinking there?
Well, Munger really got that the people you surround yourself with, they have a huge impact on you, your growth personally and professionally. Working for people you genuinely respect, people you admire. It's incredibly motivating. You learn so much more.
Yeah, I could see that.
Their values, their wisdom, how they operate that stuff rubs off on you, hopefully in a good way. It's about seeking out environments where you're inspired, where you can grow under, good influence.
Finding mentors and collaborators who push you to be better. Okay, let's talk brass tacks for a second. Wealth building. Munger really emphasized save $100,000.
Yeah.
Why that number? Why the big focus on saving?
Well, the specific number, $100,000, isn't maybe the magic part. It's the principle behind it.
Okay.
Munger believed that getting that first significant chunk of capital together, however long it took, was just a crucial first step. a foundational step for building long-term wealth.
Right, getting started.
Yeah, that initial sum, that's what you can then put to work. That's when compounding really starts to kick in powerfully. It's about establishing that solid base you can build on.
Like getting the first decent-sized snowball made so it can really pick up speed rolling downhill.
Exactly. You need that seed to grow the tree.
Now, he also had some pretty direct views on overcoming stupidity. It sounds like he distinguished between, limitations we all have and just choosing to stay ignorant.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He often quoted his grandfather, who apparently believed that being unnecessarily ignorant was, quote, sinful.
Sinful. Strong word.
Yeah. Munger felt really strongly that, look, everyone has limits, but choosing not to learn something you could easily learn, that's like shooting yourself in the foot. He was a huge proponent of just constantly seeking knowledge to reduce what he called easily removable ignorance.
Taking responsibility for your own understanding.
Exactly. Be curious. Actively try to figure things out.
Okay, let's dive into a specific story that kind of brings a lot of this together. See's Candy. Sounds like that purchase was a huge moment for Berkshire, but it almost didn't happen.
Oh, the See's Candy story is fantastic for illustrating these points. It really shows how even brilliant guys like Munger and Buffett, well, they started out making mistakes too. They had to learn and adapt.
Right.
The asking price was $35 million. Seemed pretty steep to them then, especially since the company had, $10 million in cash and was earning maybe $4 million a year?
So based on their usual math, their usual metrics.
It wasn't an obvious bargain at all, not by their standards at the time. They actually came incredibly close to just walking away. I think the gap between their final offer and the asking price was only like $100,000.
Wow, that close.
Yeah. Munger himself said later how dumb we all were when we were young, specifically thinking about almost missing C's.
So what turned it around? What made them actually pull the trigger?
This is where that lattice work idea comes back in. The value of different perspectives.
Okay.
They had a partner, a petroleum engineer, not a finance guy.
Right, different background.
Exactly, and he looked at C's completely differently. He saw the incredible power of the brand, the customer loyalty, intangible stuff. And he basically told Warren and Charlie pretty bluntly that they were being way too chintzy, that businesses this good just didn't come along often.
So his different lens let them see the value they were missing with their purely financial focus.
Precisely. It's a powerful lesson, right? The limits of just one perspective, even a really smart one.
Definitely. And Munger connected C's to their later massive success with Coca-Cola, didn't he?
He absolutely did. He felt that learning the lesson with C's, overcoming their initial, maybe overly rigid, quantitative approach, their stupidity, as he put it, was what allowed them to recognize the Coca-Cola opportunity later and act decisively.
Wow.
C's taught them huge lessons about brands, about intangible value, about the economics of truly high-quality businesses, lessons they applied directly with Coke, just on a much, much bigger scale.
It's such a great reminder that even the legends are always learning, always evolving, and being willing to change your mind when you get new information or different perspective.
Yeah.
It can have massive consequences down the line.
Absolutely. They had to, as you said, kind of abandon their typical firm business-like methods for that one.
They had to adapt their framework.
Yep.
So, okay, wrapping this up, it really sounds like Munger's lasting wisdom isn't about some rigid checklist. It's more about cultivating this interconnected set of principles, right? A multifaceted way to think, learn, and decide.
That sums it up perfectly. His bag of tricks was really a collection of these fundamental mental tools. Inversion, the lattice work, continuous learning, integrity, all working together.
And it's also just so valuable to remember that even someone as brilliant as Munger, well, he started out making mistakes. We all do. The key seems to be recognizing them, learning, and just constantly refining how you think.
Precisely. It's a lifelong journey, this pursuit of wisdom, of making better decisions. No one starts out perfect.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening as they think about this deep dive into Charlie Munger's wisdom. Consider this. Which one of these mental tricks really resonates with you right now? Is it inversion, just flipping a problem around? Is it consciously trying to build out your own lattice work of knowledge? Or maybe just recommitting to that idea of continuous learning? Which one could you apply, maybe even today, to whatever challenges or goals you're facing?
Yeah, that's the real takeaway.
It's about taking these powerful ideas off the page and actually making them part of your own thinking toolkit.